Hi, I'm Nilda. I will begin our presentation by talking about Bolivia's political system. Bolivia's republic is based on a democratic system where the president is directly elected and serves a 5-year term. It wasn't until 2009 that Bolivia revised their constitution and permitted re-election. Bolivia's political system of government is based on a Senate and Chamber of Secrets. Just kidding, a Chamber of Deputies. The Senate has 36 members who are elected by proportional representation for 5-year terms. The Chamber has 130 members, 70 of whom are directly elected, 7 are special indigenous deputies, and 53 are elected by proportional representation. The Bolivian system of government works on proportional representation that elects its members from party lists. In a presidential runoff, if no candidate receives a majority, the Congress chooses the president from among the top 3 candidates in a secret ballot. Bolivia's most recent presidential elections were held on December 6, 2009, where the left-wing incumbent, Evo Morales, representing Movimiento al Socialismo, also known as MAS, won re-election with 64% of the vote and gained 2/3 majority in both houses of parliament. Morales is the first candidate of indigenous origin to become president in Bolivia. During his presidency, Morales undertook constitutional reform and has managed to increase state involvement in the economy. The new constitution states that private property is not prohibited unless it negatively affects collective interests. The president has also made the effort in protecting indigenous rights. He promotes the practice of the country's 35 different languages, has enforced a set number of indigenous seats in legislature, increased the autonomy of indigenous communities, and regulated private agriculture landholdings. Bolivia has gained much international attention for its passage of Law of the Rights of Mama Earth, which offers the Bolivian ecosystem the same rights as humans. And now, on to Natalie.
Hi, I'm Natalie, and I will be talking about political parties in Bolivia. Bolivia's proportional representation system has encouraged the formation of several political parties. Numerous parties and coalitions have formed and dissolved over the years, usually tied to the personalities of the various leaders. These are several of the nationally registered parties with the Supreme Electoral Tribunal. Movimiento Nacionalista Revolucionario, the MNR, Movimiento al Socialismo, most likely known as MAS, Unidad Cívica Solidaridad, the ADN or Acción Democrática Nacionalista, Frente Revolucionaria de Izquierda, known as FRI, Frente de Unidad Nacional, Partido Democrático Cristiano, otherwise known as PDC, Poder Democrático y Social, Consenso Popular, and lastly, Frente para la Victoria or FPV. Of the many principal political parties we selected, 3 proved to be the most important. Firstly, Movimiento Nacionalista Revolucionario. They have center-left and center-right tendencies, and they were founded in 1941 by Víctor Paz Estensor, in coalition with left-wing parties. You most know it as the party Gonzalo Sánchez de Lozado, otherwise known as GONI, associated with. Secondly, we have Movement for Socialism, political instrument for the sovereignty of the people, otherwise known as MAS. MAS is a left-wing party. The MAS vote represents a rejection of the neoliberal policies that have ravaged not just Bolivia, but the whole continent. It will bring the struggle of the indigenous people who make up 80% of Bolivia's population to center stage of Bolivian politics. It is a Bolivian political movement led by Evo Morales, founded in 1998, and it highlights the need for communitarianism. And lastly, we will talk about Acción Democrática Nacionalista, otherwise known as ADN. It is a right-wing party. ADN was founded in March 23, 1979 by the military dictator Hugo Banzer, and it concerns itself with the reduction of government, hyperinflation, and repression of labor unions.
Great job, Natalie. Hey guys, it's Lillian, and I'm going to be talking about the news. The war on drugs has been a long-lasting issue that continues to complicate the lives of many people in Latin countries. The coca leaf is Bolivia's main export, and much of the indigenous Bolivian population depends on coca production to ensure some type of income. However, the coca leaf is the main ingredient in cocaine, which obviously creates a rift between the indigenous people and the anti-drug militaries that hope to limit the amount of coca production that many of the Bolivian people depend on. The reason behind the clash between Bolivian police and Bolivian indigenous communities is the misunderstanding of the use of coca. Although coca is the main ingredient to the development of cocaine, the indigenous communities use coca as a mild stimulant and an alleviant of altitude sickness and an opportunity for work. Bolivia is known to be one of the poorest Latin American countries in the world. Thus, it is no surprise that the minimum working age is 14. However, Congress is looking to ban child labor in hopes that it will minimize the poverty level. Known as voiceless laborers, many children aged 6 to 17 have joined to demand a better working environment. Yet, will banning child labor really assist children in their efforts to escape poverty? What about the children who are under legal working age that depend on income to pay for their school? Will eliminating child labor allow them to finally escape poverty? Several programs have been designed to help families escape poverty. Though extreme poverty has decreased, Bolivia remains a poor country with roughly 1 million people living on less than $1.25 a day. When Evo Morales kicked out the Drug Enforcement Administration in 2009 and the head of Bolivian anti-narcotics police was arrested on trafficking charges, Washington began to conclude that Bolivia was not actually fighting the war on narcotics. Yet, despite the concerns between US and Bolivia, Bolivia has created a new approach to controlling coca growth. Surprisingly, the control methods have led to significant drop in coca plantings. Though American-led anti-trafficking measures led to the limitation of coca planting, the new Bolivian method has surpassed American methods in that the minimization of coca plantings did not lead to murder and increased violence. But there is still concern that the recent gains have allowed traffickers to use more efficient methods to produce and smuggle cocaine right under Bolivian law. Bolivia is often seen as a small, impoverished country, but has more recently made headlines in its economic growth. Since last year, Bolivia's economy has grown an estimated 6.5%. Inflation has been stable, the budget has been kept in balance, and what used to be an intense amount of government debt has recently been cut down. Even poverty has gone down from 38% to 24%. Bolivia has also developed a rainy day fund of about $14 billion to help it get through economic difficulties. Bolivia now has the highest ration in the world of international reserves. The country's income has improved due to the increase in prices for natural gas, one of the country's most important exports. The country's constitution has ruled that Bolivian President Evo Morales can run for a third term in Bolivia's presidential elections next year. Bolivian constitution says that presidents can only run for 2 consecutive terms, but his first term will not be counted as the constitution change was not made until after he served his first term. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you enjoyed.